Exclusive courtside footage just dropped showing what really happened during the Fever Sky game. The league rushed to condemn Indiana fans, but failed to check the facts first. The footage doesn't lie, and exposes a calculated attack on Caitlin.
Caitlin Clark fouled her to stop her from making a basket and forced her to go to the free throw line. That is a basketball play. Angel Reese does what Angel Reese does to sell the moment. She gets up and tries to fight Caitlin Clark.
Clark and the entire Fever organization. Let me tell you exactly what's happening here, because this is beyond ridiculous. The WNBA has officially jumped the shark with their blatant targeting of Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever organization. By now, you've probably seen the WNBA's absurd statement. The WNBA strongly condemns racism, hate, and discrimination in all forms. They have no place in our league or in society. We are aware of allegations and are looking into the matter. But what allegations? Based on what evidence? From who? That's the million-dollar question nobody at WNBA headquarters bothered to answer.
Angel Reese deserved to get her ass booed when she attacked Caitlin on a normal foul. Other than that, what are you talking about? So the WNBA, talk about killing the golden goose. Like, you guys...
Before throwing an entire fan base under the bus, here's where it gets interesting. We now have exclusive footage from courtside that completely contradicts the narrative being pushed online. This footage shows exactly what happened during the game, and guess what? There were no racial slurs, no monkey noises, no discriminatory behavior whatsoever from Fever fans. The footage clearly shows a normal basketball environment. Fans cheering, fans booing. Exactly what you'd expect at any professional sporting event in America. The idea that the Gainbridge Fieldhouse suddenly transformed into some kind of hostile environment is completely fabricated.
Angel Reese deserved to get her ass booed when she attacked Caitlin on a normal foul. Other than that, what are you talking about? So the WNBA, talk about killing the golden goose. Like, you guys are...
Let's talk about that foul for a second. The footage shows Caitlin Clark making a standard take foul on Angel Reese, something that happens dozens of times in every basketball game at every level. This is basketball 101. You prevent an easy basket by fouling and making the player earn it at the line, but watch what happens next. Reese doesn't just get up, she doesn't just take her free throws, she turns it into theater. She dramatically flops, then gets in Clark's face as if some egregious violation of basketball etiquette just occurred. And the refs bought it. They upgraded it to a flagrant foul. This is textbook Angel Reese. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's manufacturing drama because, let's be honest, drama is her brand. Basketball isn't enough. She needs controversy to stay relevant. Dave Portnoy, who was sitting courtside, put it perfectly. Totally common foul by Caitlin Clark going for a layup. Reese falls down and then attacks her basically and makes it just a joke out of her existence. And why everybody hates Angel Reese. Shame on the WNBA upgrading this to a flagrant foul. That's a flagrant foul? It was the most common routine foul of all time.
Angel Reese deserved to get her ass booed when she attacked Caitlin on a normal foul. Other than that, what are you talking about? So the WNBA, talk about killing the golden goose. Like, you guys are lucky you have Caitlin Clark. You are lucky you have the Indiana Fever. It makes the league relevant. All you do is shit on them.
He's absolutely right. Anyone with basic basketball knowledge can see this was a routine play being sensationalized for effect. But here's where the situation gets truly outrageous. Instead of recognizing this for what it was, standard basketball with a side of drama, the WNBA decided to pour gasoline on the fire by legitimizing baseless accusations against the Indiana Fever organization and their fans. Let's be crystal clear about what's happening. The WNBA is actively undermining its most valuable asset. Caitlin Clark has single-handedly generated more interest, more ticket sales, more merchandise revenue, and more TV viewership than anyone in the history of women's basketball. She's bringing in fans who never watched a WNBA game in their lives. And how does the league thank her? By validating unfounded accusations against her fan base, by upgrading routine fouls to flagrants when she's involved, by treating her success as some kind of problem that needs to be managed rather than celebrated. The footage from courtside tells the real story. The Gainbridge Fieldhouse was packed with families, kids wearing Clark jerseys, parents who drove hours to see the new face of women's basketball. The atmosphere was electric, exactly what the WNBA has been desperately trying to create for decades, but apparently that's not what the league wants. They'd rather have half-empty arenas than full ones cheering for Caitlin Clark. The truth is painfully obvious. There's a segment within the WNBA, both in the league office and among certain players, that resents Clark's popularity. They resent that she's bringing in new fans. They resent that she's getting attention they believe should be directed elsewhere. Just look at Angel Reese's social media. After LeBron James posted a photo with Caitlin Clark, Reese couldn't help but comment, "Michael Jordan never lost a finals." By the way, taking a petty shot at both LeBron and Clark in one swing. Who does that? Someone who's secure in their own success, or someone consumed by jealousy? The footage shows it all. Watch Reese's face when Clark is on the court. The contempt is palpable. She can barely contain her disdain when Clark's name is mentioned in interviews. This isn't about basketball, this is personal, but the issue goes beyond just one player. The league itself is enabling and amplifying this behavior. By issuing statements based on unverified social media rumors, the WNBA legitimizes this toxicity. They're taking sides in a rivalry that should be good for business, not destructive to it. Let's talk about the double standard for a minute. When Reese taunts opponents, it's bringing personality to the game. When Clark celebrates a three-pointer, she's disrespectful. When Chicago Sky players trash talk all game, it's competitive fire. When Indiana fans boo the opposition, they're creating a hostile environment. The hypocrisy is stunning. NBA fans can say and do virtually anything within reason. They can heckle players mercilessly within bounds, create intimidating environments for road teams, and generally participate in the emotional experience of live sports. But Fever fans are expected to sit quietly and politely applaud both teams equally? The footage from courtside shows what really happened. Normal sports fans engaged in normal sports fan behavior. Cheering their team, booing the opposition, nothing racist, nothing discriminatory, nothing that wouldn't happen in any arena in America. Yet the WNBA chose to validate baseless accusations without evidence. They chose to investigate claims that anyone with access to the footage could disprove in seconds. Why? Because it fits a narrative they want to believe, that Caitlin Clark's fans are somehow problematic. What's particularly infuriating is how this undermines the genuine progress women's basketball has made. The WNBA is experiencing unprecedented popularity right now. TV ratings are up, attendance is skyrocketing, social media engagement is at an all-time high. This should be a moment of celebration for everyone invested in women's sports. Instead, the league seems determined to sabotage its own success by alienating the very fans driving this renaissance. It's organizational malpractice of the highest order. Caitlin Clark handled the situation with remarkable maturity, as always. When asked about rivalry, she said, "Rivalry is great for sport. Like, I understand that. I grew up loving rivalries. I think it's more than anything, like, as a player, you approach the game the same every single time, or you should. That's the perspective of a true professional, someone who understands that rivalries can be good for business without becoming personal vendettas." Contrast that with the petty sniping we've seen from others. The courtside footage confirms what many suspected. The hostile environment narrative was manufactured from thin air. The real hostility isn't coming from Fever fans. It's coming from those who can't stand seeing Caitlin Clark succeed. Let's talk about what's really happening here. The WNBA is at an inflection point. For years, they struggled to build a sustainable business model. They begged for media attention. They pleaded for better attendance. They demanded respect as a professional sports league. Now they finally have what they wanted, and they're treating it like a problem. Caitlin Clark is the best thing that ever happened to the WNBA from a business perspective. She's bringing in casual fans. She's attracting sponsors. She's generating media coverage that women's basketball never received before. A smart league would embrace this opportunity. They'd protect their new star, they'd celebrate the growing fan base. They'd use this momentum to elevate all their players and teams. Instead, the WNBA seems intent on playing politics. They're siding with the anti-Clark faction and alienating new fans in the process. It's like a restaurant complaining that too many customers want to eat there. The courtside footage doesn't just refute the allegations against Fever fans. It exposes the bizarre priorities of league leadership. They're more concerned with maintaining the old power structure than growing the game. Think about it. What other professional sports league would investigate its own fans based on unverified social media rumors? What other league would issue statements condemning an entire fan base without evidence? What other league would treat its biggest star like a problem rather than an asset? This isn't just incompetence, it's deliberate. There's a faction within women's basketball that would rather the WNBA remain small and exclusive than grow with Caitlin Clark as its face. They'd rather have their league than a successful one. The footage from courtside tells the real story. A packed arena, enthusiastic fans, and normal basketball competition being twisted into something nefarious for political purposes. What's particularly sad is how this undermines the legitimate progress women's sports have made. Fighting for equal treatment and opportunities is essential, but manufacturing controversies and attacking your own fans isn't activism, it's self-sabotage. Consider the message this sends to potential new fans. We want your support, but only if you support the right players in the right way. Otherwise, we'll accuse you of creating a hostile environment. Who would sign up for that? The courtside footage shows the truth. Fever fans are no different from fans of any other team in any other sport. They cheer their players. They boo the opposition. They get excited when their team succeeds. This isn't controversial. It's the foundation of sports fandom, yet the WNBA chose to legitimize baseless accusations against these fans. They chose to investigate claims that could be disproven with minimal effort. They chose to alienate a growing fan base to appease those who feel threatened by Caitlin Clark's popularity. Let's address the elephant in the room. This isn't really about fan behavior. It's about control. It's about who gets to define women's basketball and its culture. It's about whether the WNBA will embrace growth and change or remain stubbornly attached to its existing power structure. The courtside footage makes it clear that the allegations were fabricated. There was no hostile environment beyond normal. Sports competition. There were no racial slurs. There was just basketball. Exciting, competitive basketball that fans were passionate about, but that doesn't fit the narrative certain people want to push. They need Caitlin Clark's fans to be problematic. They need the Fever organization to be tainted. They need to delegitimize Clark's impact on the game. Why? Because her success threatens the status quo. It challenges the existing hierarchy. It suggests that women's basketball could be more popular, more mainstream, more financially successful than it currently is. And that's threatening to those who've built their identity around the sport's niche status. The courtside footage shows families enjoying basketball together. It shows kids finding new heroes. It shows the potential future of women's sports. Broader, more inclusive, more commercially viable. And somehow, the WNBA sees this as a problem. You cannot build a sustainable business model by attacking your own most valuable asset. The courtside footage doesn't just refute the allegations, it exposes the WNBA's bizarre priorities. They'd rather maintain control over a smaller league than embrace the growth potential Clark represents, even if that means sacrificing their own financial interests. The courtside footage doesn't lie, and it completely destroys the false narrative being pushed against Caitlin Clark and Fever. Fans, hit that subscribe button right now for more exclusive coverage that mainstream sports media won't show you. Drop a like if you're tired of these obvious attacks on Clark. Comment below with your thoughts on this shocking WNBA conspiracy.